Are you someone who's been craving more fun and personality in your wardrobe? If so, I think this video might be for you. Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. So glad to be with you today. My name is Robin, and this video is going to be maybe a little inspiration for you to add a little color and print back into your wardrobe. I feel like we've gone through a few years of minimalism. I know that I was also influenced by this trend because last year I took almost everything that was a bold color or a print out of my wardrobe. And although I don't regret that decision because a lot of that stuff was things that I had had for many years, I did start feeling over the past few months that my wardrobe had gotten a little lackluster. Last year when I did a summer capsule wardrobe, one of the themes in that video was that everything was sort of black, white, navy. I can't remember exactly every piece that was in there, but there was, I don't think, one thing that had a pop of color. And everything was mix and matchable, and it looked very chic, it looked modern, and it was very easy, I will say, because I had considerably less clothes, I think, last summer than I have now. Yeah, I have quite a few more pieces now than I did back then. And it did make dressing very easy because everything, like I said, could mix and match with each other. And I really was focused on silhouette. What silhouette worked for my shape? I am 4'10". I am a curvy petite. I wear usually a size 12 petite, a large on bottom and large or a medium on top. It just depends on the brands. So there's certain things that as a curvy petite, I always want to try to elongate myself, look a little taller, and something that's going to flatter my figure, something that's not going to make me look bigger than I am because, you know, having a larger chest and a large butt, you know, some of these very loose trends that have been out there, I just didn't feel comfortable in at all. And I certainly wasn't wearing any bright colors to attract attention to myself. But just a couple of months ago, I did my spring summer wardrobe switchover. And the thing that I really felt in that was that I was lacking, first of all, I was lacking layering pieces. I was lacking jackets. And I mentioned that in that video. But the other thing that I started to feel was that I was lacking color. And one of the things that sort of shifted that for me of thinking about adding more color into my wardrobe was when I was using that Urban Decay palette and I was trying to use all of my unused makeup, and I made outfits based on different eyeshadow palettes and different makeup that I had not been wearing. And so I took out that eyeshadow palette and I'm like, this is such a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I had barely touched it. I'm gonna tell you, I have probably, since I have had it, only had probably made 2 looks with it because it just went in the back of my makeup and I was like, I don't know what to do with this eyeshadow palette. But I decided I'm going to create 4 eyeshadow looks with this palette. And the look that surprised me the most was the purple eyeshadow look. So I've mentioned that a few times on this channel already, that every time I went into the bathroom at work and saw myself in the mirror, I was like, that is actually really pretty. I really like that. And that's the only purple eyeshadow that I have. So it got me thinking about maybe one day getting more purple eyeshadows. And also maybe wearing purple, something I still don't have any purple in my wardrobe, but I'm not averse to it. And that's the key. I used to be averse to purple. I'm not a purple person, or at least I thought I wasn't a purple person. That's kind of funny because the color of this paint in this room is sort of a lilac blue. So it's kind of a purple blue. But anywhere else in my life, I'm not a purple person. So getting back to last summer, I was following the sort of guidelines to come up with 3 words to describe the way you want your wardrobe to be. And the aspirational word that I came up with was like chic. I was really inspired by the Parisian woman look. And then I wanted, it had to be comfortable. That was very key to me. And the third word I picked was that it needed to be fun. But I wasn't able to translate that into the things that I was wearing, because although it was very chic and I felt very put together in those outfits, and I still love those outfits and will continue to wear them, I wasn't feeling the fun aspect. And so I've been thinking about that. It's almost been a year and I've been thinking about that. Like, what is missing from this that would make it fun? And basically I came back to color and print. Wearing all neutrals, it really served a purpose for me, because last year was a very difficult year and I needed quiet, I needed clarity, because it was probably the most, maybe the second most stressful year of my life in some ways. In a lot of ways. If you watched my videos last year, I think you'll understand why. And having that sort of neutral, very put together kind of look that was reliable, that I could just throw on every day, that I didn't have too many pieces to choose from, and I just was sort of picking amongst 20 items. Probably that was about the number of items I was picking from for a good chunk of time. And I felt at ease with that, and it served its purpose for that time. But now things have shifted. I will also attribute this shift to watching White Lotus season 3. I've already made 2 or 3 videos about vacation looks, about embodying the vibes of that sort of resort look where you're very carefree, you don't care what anybody thinks about you, you're just there to be comfortable and be in the tropics, and almost you're another flower in the tropics with bold colors and prints. And so watching season 3 of White Lotus, I was like, oh, the costuming in this is delicious. And as a fashion designer, I'm always looking at the way that characters are costumed in shows and thinking about why those choices were made for that character. And also, if it's a new show, wondering how that's going to affect the trends to come, because they do. And shows like that feature like travel and exotic locations sort of remind us how vacation is giving you permission to play, and that even includes your wardrobe, that you don't have a dress code, you're not going into an office. When people watch shows like White Lotus, they start imagining a version of themselves that would be more free, that would be sexier, that would be just more bold and making more bold decisions in how they dress, because they don't have to answer to anybody about how they're dressed. So this transformation was gradual. I would say it probably started with the spring-summer wardrobe switchover and realizing a few things about my wardrobe that were missing. And it was also missing fun. I was like, this doesn't feel like a fun wardrobe. And that's one of my words, my descriptive words of how I want to feel with what I'm wearing. And the second thing was using that Urban Decay palette and the purple colors in particular. And the third thing was watching White Lotus. So I realized that I really wasn't dressing like the person I want to be. A joyful, vibrant, bold, fun person. I'm not feeling like my wardrobe is necessarily expressing that about me. Now, I know I have enough personality to make my clothes sing with me. if you were around me in real life, you would see that, because at work I'm constantly singing and making up songs, making people laugh, and I also do improv comedy, so I'm always creating, sort of wacky characters when I'm doing improv as well. But when you are a woman of a certain age, I am 52, when you are petite and you're curvy, you feel like you have to stick to certain cuts. You feel like you have to, that experimenting with shape, because it is so hard to find clothes that fit me. It's actually becoming less hard because more retailers are carrying a wider selection of petites. Thank you, Old Navy. Thank you, Gap. Thank you, Loft. Thank you, even Amazon. But the thought of experimenting with trendy kind of shapes is a bit scary. When I was younger, I don't think it was as scary. But now that I've gotten older, you also don't want to look like you're trying too hard to look younger than you are. I want to be the best version of myself at this age. So I feel like I was sort of boxing myself into a corner a little bit with what I was willing to experiment with. So I'm just going to show you some footage of what Pinterest started to serve me after I started researching White Lotus style. And so a lot of bold patterns and prints started coming up in my recommended Pinterest boards. I saw a green pant that kind of, I haven't found the original image, and maybe I will, and I'll pop it up here if I find the original image. I saw a green pant that was absolutely fabulous, and I was like, I need a green pant. That started a whole nother road for me. And so you'll see a lot of green pants and skirts in some of this footage that is scrolling by. But these are the things that started being served up to me. A sort of light bulb went off in my head. Not that I don't understand the concepts of mixing brights together. I am a fashion designer. I work on color all the time. And through the years, there will be different color trends, and we have to give our customers a trend report of the predicted colors that are going to be big for the next season. And I understand combining colors and how to combine complementary colors or split complements, which can be even more interesting. If you would like for me to make a video about how to color combine, if you feel sort of stumped with how to do that effectively, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to try to guide you and make some recommendations on how to mix different color combinations. But I didn't want that to be the focus of this particular video, because this is more about my journey into changing the way I look at fashion for myself and what I want to express. So if you watched my last couple of videos where I got some really bold White Lotus inspired vacation pieces that actually I do plan to wear all summer long, then you'll see that I brought in some bold green pants with a white flower motif, and a yellow pair of pants with a white flower motif, and this floral wrap dress that just screams to me vacation at a resort. And I love that. And I got this top, which is this beautiful watermelon color. I got this on Amazon, and I'll stand up because I want to show you. I'm wearing it with those green barrel-legged pants that I got from Gap. So that's one of the trends that I was not expecting that I would get into, is the barrel leg pant. And these are my only pair of barrel leg pant. I'm not sure how much I'm going to invest in that, because that trend, who knows how long that one will be here. But it was something that I didn't think that I could do, that I thought it would look weird on me. But when I saw these on Gap, I thought, I actually really like those, and I love the color. They're green. I've been looking, that's how I found them. I started searching for green pants, and I said, can I do a barrel leg? I don't know. I don't know if I can do a barrel leg. When I put them on for the first time, I felt very excited. Like, this is so different from anything else I've ever worn. And I'm liking it. I feel modern and I feel fun. And I feel like I could put on some really fun, chunky jewelry. It came to mind when I was describing the style the words that I wanted to use to describe my style. When I thought of fun, I thought, well, who is fun? And the most fun dresser I can think of is Iris Apfel and her wild, crazy outfits that are so amazing and interesting, and she doesn't give two bleeps what anybody thinks about what she wears, and I love that. So besides those wide leg palazzo floral pants that I got on Amazon, I also needed to focus on getting some layering pieces. That was definitely missing from my wardrobe. And the first one I got, actually the first two I got, I would say were pretty neutral, but it was the shape that I really liked. The first jacket I ended up getting was this twill sort of bomber style olive green jacket. And oh, I love this jacket. I got it at Nordstrom. It was not a petite, but it fit everywhere except the sleeves. And so I did have them tailor it for me. I had them remove a lot from the sleeve because there was a lot of extra excess fabric there. I had them obviously shorten them for me, but also reduce the opening of the sleeve because it was just so big. So that really worked, and this jacket looks really good on me. It's almost like a perfect fit for me. And that was the first jacket I invested in. I'll link everything below that I'm talking about or showing if I'm able to, in case you're interested in taking a look at them also. The second item I invested in was this sort of mocha colored jacket. It's a crop style. And so I've been avoiding a lot of crop styles. And that was something, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm a curvy petite. Like these cropped sort of boxy styles, you know, they don't define the waist. They don't look, you know, all the excuses. But I was like, you know what? Let me just try. Let me just order it and see what I think. And actually I ordered a large and it was too big. So I sent it back and I got a medium petite and it fit much better. But when I put it on, I was just like, well, I love this. All my theories are out the door about whether a cropped jacket will work on me. A cropped boxy, I should say, because it is sort of boxy. But I just think it's very flattering. Yeah, I immediately got a lot of compliments when I wore it. In this one look that I'm gonna pop up here, I've styled it with a white t-shirt and a pair of navy pants, but what I put with it was what sort of brought it to life. It was this green scarf, and I really like that. I felt like that scarf brought the outfit to life, and that's what was missing from my wardrobe, those pops of color. I also invested in a few handbags that are bright colors, like a green one and a fuchsia one. And then I got this other light blue one, which I just love. But I was so tired of basic brown and black handbags because I've been using, all of 2023, I used the same black handbag, and for a good portion of 2024. And then for the past 9 months or longer, I had bought this just an inexpensive brown handbag from Amazon, and I was using that one all these months, and I was like, I'm so tired of these dull colors. Yes, they're chic, yes, they're more sophisticated looking, but I don't think I care about that anymore. I think I just want to have fun. I want to have fun with my wardrobe, and I want to have fun in life, but I want my wardrobe to reflect the personality that I have. And so I'm excited about this transition, and I feel like there's a bigger transitioning actually happening for me, and the wardrobe is just sort of like a reflection of that. The third jacket that I invested in, I really wasn't sure about. It was sort of a leap of faith. I actually did go into the store. I went into Loft and tried it on. And I thought, I don't think that that's gonna work for me, but let me see what it looks like. Now it is neutral. It is neutral. They call it a cheetah print bomber jacket. It's got that oversized sort of bubble shape. And I thought, I don't know that that's gonna work for me, but lo and behold, I put it on and I was like, all right, I'm sold. I love this. I love this shape. It's very modern. It's very fresh. I can see myself wearing this for many years to come. So I got that one. So that was the third jacket that I invested in. And now I feel really good about the layering pieces that I have, and that they can take me from summer to fall as well, because they are neutral colors. But that was the first piece. So it was the 3 jackets, and then the green pants, and the 5th piece that I invested in that I thought, I don't know if this is gonna work for me or not. But it was a pair of wide-legged jeans. So I ended up ordering this pair of high-waisted baggy jeans from Old Navy. And I was like, I don't know how these are gonna work for me. But lo and behold, I put them on, and my first thought was, well, these are either terrible or they're fabulous. And I landed on the second option. I think they're fabulous. What I love about them is they're not a stiff denim. They are a much softer, more flowy sort of denim. That lends itself to this shape. I've been wearing these and I love them, and I'm really glad that I bought them, because I've tended to just lean towards either a tapered leg or a straight leg. Those are the 2 that I have leaned towards over the past few years. Actually, for the past decade, I would say. But these were very different, outside of my comfort zone. You can't really tell from just the front-facing pictures how sort of loose and flowy they are. So I'm really glad that they put video footage of them on their site, which I'm showing here, because you really get a feel of how loose and drapey they are. So final thoughts on this little journey that I've been talking about. Don't be afraid to take risks. And this can be as simple as wearing a bright colored lipstick. Sometimes that's the only risk you can feel like you can take at that moment. Also, it really is okay to evolve your style and to change your mind. Just because you really identified with a certain look at a certain stage in your life and you sort of kept it for many years, doesn't mean that it's too late to evolve. If you feel like you're sort of in a fashion rut, if your wardrobe doesn't excite you, maybe just start with one piece. Find one thing that excites you, that you think that you might be able to pull off. And maybe it's a similar silhouette that you usually wear, but instead it's in a bright color. And see how people around you respond to that difference. It might surprise you to see how people respond differently to you. And sometimes I think wearing something that's very different from what we normally wear can evoke certain emotions in us and make us feel a little different also. So take note of that. Take note of how you're feeling and why you think you might feel differently. This might be a good thing to even journal about. I don't think that and it's not just because I'm in the fashion industry, but I don't think that clothing and your style is a trivial thing. I think it really says something about you. You're making an intentional decision, whether you know it or not. You are making an intentional decision every day when you pick out your clothes. And maybe you're trying to hide yourself. You don't want to be seen. So that's something to explore. Why are you hiding yourself? Why don't you want other people to notice you? You deserve to be noticed. You matter. You're a part of this world. And this world is so full of so many different personalities and colors. We don't all need to be the same. We don't all need to follow the same trends. But it is a form of self-expression. That's why you see teenagers always following the trends and they're all trying to be like each other. Everybody looks the same. And I just had a girlfriend tell me that she feels like everything is a cult, that when she goes to pick up her son from school, all of the mommies have the same handbag or they have the same sneaker. And, and that's kind of funny because it's true. We're all sort of copying each other. So I want to encourage you that you don't need to be like anybody else. You don't need to copy anybody else's style. Looking through Pinterest boards can give you inspiration, but you don't have to copy those looks verbatim. Give your own flair to it. Give it your own personality. And I'm giving you permission to play with your clothes and to try a bold color or a bold print. And anybody who tells you,
oh, you can't do a big print because you're too big or you're too small and it will overwhelm you.
Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. You find things that make you feel good and that you enjoy and bring you pleasure to wear. And forget about all the noise because nobody's opinion matters but your own. But it is nice to get a compliment when you start shifting how you're dressing and people start noticing. I'm not going to take that away from us. We all need a little ego boost every now and then. So if your wardrobe is feeling sort of boring like mine was feeling and you feel like you're not having a lot of fun lately in your life, not saying that a wardrobe is going to change your life, but it might just be time, and this might be your sign that you need to shake things up a bit. Sometimes we get into just habits and patterns of wearing the same things over and over. And by the way, we're probably doing the same things in our life over and over. We're just on wash, rinse, repeat. So this has a deeper psychological significance of not only expressing yourself through your clothing, but wanting to be a little different in your life, to be a little more vibrant, to be more passionate, to try new things. And I'm thinking a lot more about that because I really felt like in the past year, my life was very predictable. Like many of you, getting up, getting dressed, going to work, driving home from work, eating dinner, going to bed. I'm missing some of the deliciousness of life. I'm not saying that wearing bold color has inspired this shift, but I feel like it's kind of all related. That I need to shift out of my patterns, that I need to have new experiences in life, but I have to do different things. I have to make different choices in order for that to happen. So one of the choices I'm making to shift my mood and sort of just transform myself a little bit. And of course, clothing is not going to be the deep work that I do internally, but it can be an outward representation of becoming more vibrant and alive and mindful and aware and fun. Did I say vibrant? I'm not sure if I already said vibrant, but that's one of the words that I want to embody is vibrant. So let me know in the comments below, what would be your 3 style words that you would use to describe either the wardrobe you have or the wardrobe that you aspire to have? And if you're going through a fashion identity shift too, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your story too. Well, I thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And don't forget to give this a like if you liked it and to subscribe and hit that notification bell too so that you know when I upload and you don't miss a video. Well, until next time, I hope you're being your most vibrant and bold and passionate self. And regardless of any of that, I think you're doing great.